How's everyone doing today? Jack here from Real Estate of America. You join me in sunny, warm Egypt, Pennsylvania. I'm on the Ironton Rails to Trails. Today we're gonna be doing a little neighborhood tour of Egypt and the surrounding areas, talking about the history, the type of housing you can find here in Egypt, and different types of landmarks and unique little areas that you can find in the Egypt Whitehall Township area. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more neighborhood tours around the Lehigh Valley like this one. As always, my name is Jack Streeting. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Lehigh Valley. If you're thinking of making a move to the Lehigh Valley, or you're thinking of selling a house here in the Lehigh Valley, I would love to help you out. All my info can be found in the description down below. So some quick little history about Egypt. It's actually one of the oldest developments in eastern Pennsylvania, and it was settled around 1733 by Pennsylvanian German settlers. Now these settlers have been settling in different parts of eastern Pennsylvania, and a lot of those areas were not great when it came to the soil, and they found it a little harder to farm the land. However, when they came here, they found that the soil was actually really rich and it was great for farming. So they named the settlement Egypta, Pennsylvanian Dutch for Egypt, basically because of the Nile River that runs through Egypt and because of the fertile land and soil that can be found near the Nile River in Egypt. So they called it Egypt because of that. So that's where Egypt gets its name. Egypt's actually not the only municipality in the Lehigh Valley to have a Middle Eastern name. We have Nazareth, Pennsylvania, out in Northampton County. We also have Bethlehem, one of the three major cities in the Lehigh Valley. And then we also have the Jordan Creek that runs through the southern bit of Whitehall Township as well. Egypt is very close and very central to a lot of amenities and shops, stores. You've got a Sheetz right in Egypt here. Sheetz is a good place to get gas, get some snacks, get some food. I'm more of a Wawa guy when it comes to hoagies, but when it comes to fried food, I think Sheetz does it a lot better. Whitehall is one of the few places on the eastern side of Pennsylvania where you can find both a Wawa and a Sheetz. Fun little fact there. Of course, down MacArthur Road, you also have Weis, you're gonna have a Giant, you're gonna have Walmart. You have a bunch of different big box stores. The farther south you go down MacArthur Road, 145 towards Allentown, those are right down the road. You're about a 10-minute drive from 22, and that can take you to the Turnpike, that can take you to I-78, wherever you need to be outside Lehigh Valley. You can also take 145 north, that takes you up to 248, which can take you up to Lehighton in the Poconos. So the Poconos aren't too far away. So the more you go north from Egypt, it's gonna get rural. The further south you get, you're gonna get into places like Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton. So it's gonna get a little more built up. So you're right on the edge of the Lehigh Valley in the suburbs there. All right, we've actually come to a little bit of a crossroads here, so both figuratively and literally. So we're crossing the street here for the Ironton Rail Trail, but on the left we're gonna have some older developments. Back in the day, a lot of the cement plants that operated around here in Egypt would build their own little small villages and communities to house their workers, and this little stretch of houses here was one of those places. And then over on the right here, we actually have some fairly new construction within the past 20 years. I mean, this actually looks a little less than 20 years old here. Timber Ridge, right outside of Egypt here. So Whitehall Township, we're actually technically in North Whitehall Township now, but in these two general areas, you should be able to find a good mix of older and newer constructions. The average home sale price here in Egypt is going to be around $325,000, and that's of last month. Although it is very possible to find a house for under $300,000 here in Whitehall Township, and the surrounding areas as well, such as Copley, Northampton. So you could probably find something within your budget if you're looking for a property that's under $300,000. When it comes to areas of affordability within the Lehigh Valley, the Whitehall Township, Northampton Borough area is pretty affordable. It's more on the affordable side when it comes to the valley. So if you're looking for a house in the valley, for under $300,000, Whitehall Township, Egypt especially, is a good place to look. You'll actually see it the farther we get closer, but that's one of the old cement plants from one of the cement companies that operated here in Egypt. The reason this trail is called the Rails to Trails is because this used to be railroad. Freight railroad would deliver to all the cement plants in the area, and ever since the cement plant shut down, there was no need for the rails, so they converted a lot of them into trails. Rails to Trails. Okay, so we're actually gonna get off the rails to trails here in just a little bit. We're gonna walk a little north to the crossroads, the main crossroads of Egypt. You'll be able to see the little downtown that Egypt has and just take a look at some of the sights and sounds around downtown Egypt. So here's kind of the crossroads of Egypt. We've got Riley's Restaurant and Pub right here, right smack dab in the middle of Egypt. This is where Church Street and Main Street meet. Over there we have Holy Trinity Catholic Church, one of the other churches here in Egypt. There's another church right up the road as well. And this is where the two main roads of Egypt interconnect. And over here in the little center square, we have a tribute to the people from Egypt who fought in the First World War, with names of all the people from Egypt who served in World War I, followed by those who unfortunately gave their lives to the protection of Europe in the First World War.
We can also not forget Eagle Point, which is a little bit east of Egypt, in between Cementon and Egypt, where you can find King Cone, which is an absolute ice cream staple here in the valley. They are super popular. You can also find some strip malls, and you can find an F-14 fighter jet overlooking the entire Lehigh Valley. The F-14 sits atop a small park overlooking the entire Lehigh Valley. You could find that right in Eagle Point, which a lot of people consider part of Egypt. I cannot not talk about Egypt and not mention the F-14 and Eagle Point.
We're gonna take one last trip to a little suburban area of Egypt where we can take a look at some of the houses that you can find in Egypt and a little interesting street naming system that they have here.
My footage corrupted, so apologies for that, but let's jump into Google Maps. Egypt has a good variety of older, more historical homes dating back to the late 1800s and early 20th century. You can find those around Main Street, as well as mid-century homes such as split levels and ranch homes. You can also find a good variety of newer early 2000s developments in and around Egypt, such as Timber Ridge like we showed earlier. Whatever type of house you want, Egypt's pretty much got it all. And if you can't find it in Egypt, you can probably find it in and around the Whitehall Township, North Whitehall Township area. And fun fact to end off the video, many of the roads in and around Egypt pay homage to the village's unique name. You've got Cairo Drive, Nile Drive, Memphis Road, Pharaoh Street, and more Egyptian inspired names. So I think that's pretty interesting. And Egypt is a very interesting place, and it's one of the more unique villages in the Lehigh Valley. If you want to see more neighborhood tours in and around the Lehigh Valley, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you want to see more videos. And if you're looking for a realtor within the Lehigh Valley, feel free to contact me down below. All my information is down in the description. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight, and I'll see you all in my next video. Have a great day, everybody.